How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. The year is coming to an end, and I'd like to take this time to reflect upon the 5 biggest money mistakes I've ever made in my life. This video is brought to you by Moomoo, the free trading app. Get 5 free shares of stock worth between $300 and $3,500 each. 1 for opening up an account, 1 for depositing any amount, and 3 more for depositing $2,000 or more. In addition, if you deposit $100 or more, you can be entered into a drawing to win one of these 3 prizes. Check out my referral link down in the video description below. Now I'm putting myself out there, laying out all my mistakes, so I anticipate there's gonna be a lot of trolling in the comments saying how much I suck as a financial YouTuber because I really should not have made these mistakes myself. But in my defense, keep in mind that I started off with a net worth of around $1 million. Today, I have doubled this to $2 million within 5 short years, and I didn't really even work at my main engineering job. With that said, let's get on with the mistakes I made. Long time ago, when I was working at my second job, I started investing in my 401k. I just kept on putting money in, and I tried to listen to what people were saying. Just keep on putting money in and just let it ride, even if it drops a lot. And during that time, it was actually during the .com bust. My investing style at the time was just kind of hands off. I didn't really want to touch anything about the 401k because it seemed so distant in the future. But when I switched jobs, my previous job ended the 401k plan, so they automatically cash me out. Now, what you're supposed to do is immediately put this money back into your 401k so that you do not get penalized for early withdrawal. The mistake here was me being too lazy and letting the plan cash me out. So when the check came in the mail, I saw this really big check. I think it was $10,000 or $20,000. And when I saw that, I just got kind of greedy, I guess. I'm like, wow, there's cash right here, right now. I can use it right now. Why don't I just put it in my bank account? It can increase my savings all that much more so that I can buy a house with it. When you see the check there, the temptation is just too great. So my recommendation is to not even let that happen. If you're going to change a job, you really need to roll it over and not even have a physical check for you to cash at all. Now, this is actually not too terrible a mistake. And it is really great to make financial mistakes early on so that you learn, because your building capital is kind of small back then. It was around $10,000. If I left it in the S&P 500 since 2001, today it would be $26,000. So okay, $16,000 I would have had if I just left it in there. In comparison to my current net worth, it actually doesn't matter too much, but what's more important is the lessons that I learned. So heed my warning here. Don't ever let your 401k cash you out. Just roll it over. You guys ask about Dogecoin, and I don't have much to say about this. I cannot predict the future, so I have no idea where it's going. But if you ask me, I think there is still a chance that it can rapidly increase in price at some point in the future when everyone has forgotten about Dogecoin. So my plan here is to hold on to my 1 million Dogecoin. They're worth 17 cents right now, or 15 cents or something like that. So it's $170,000 worth of Dogecoin. Keep in mind that it ramped up all the way to 70 cents. So this represents like $500,000 that I could have had. Even if I paid short-term gains taxes of 40% or so, I would have had about $300,000 in cash, and I could have put this towards a roadster or something. So, you know, all of this is would've, could've, should've. If I had a crystal ball, yeah, I would have sold it. But anybody that said you should have sold it or you should have done this or whatever, right? In hindsight, it's 2020, and it always makes you feel really stupid, right? Like anybody that says you should have done this, you should have done that. Okay, whatever, right? Right now, I have 1 million Dogecoin, and my reading of the future from this point on is that I think it still has a chance of reaching $1. And I think I'm gonna wait all the way until maybe March or April of next year, which is my 1-year time frame of holding. It's gonna become long-term capital gains tax. Not capital gains tax, but in terms of property gains tax. So my whole theory with Dogecoin here is there is still some life left to this. There's the rocket's gonna go up. More people are gonna use it. Robinhood might come out with a wallet. I don't know when they're gonna do that. It almost seems like they're just teasing people. They're saying, oh, we're gonna do this. They have it ready, but you know, they're never gonna release it or something. But once they do, this is going to be another catalyst to bringing up another, I don't know, 50% or something. When people can use it more, then yeah, the price is going to go up some more. And I think this is going to take a long time. not in the time frame of YouTube comments. The speed at which things happen on YouTube or the reaction of people on YouTube, it's a lot quicker than a 1-year time frame. So when people have forgotten about Dogecoin, or even that I even hold any Dogecoin, that's when something is actually going to happen, in my view. The third money mistake is, I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to call this a money mistake, because in hindsight, I should have bought the biggest, baddest house I could ever afford, because it actually doubled in price. So I've seen for more expensive houses, let's say it was $1 million, it might have more than doubled in price, go from 1 million to 2.5 million. So I would have made more money that way. At the time, I might have been able to push it a little bit harder. Maybe I can afford like 25% more expensive of a house, or 50% more expensive of a house. Nobody knew that there's going to be like a 10-year bull market in the housing area, where the housing price is going to more than double from my point of view of this home right here. So if I bought a $1 million house, I would have gained another at least $1 million instead of just $500,000. So my net worth maybe would have been 2.5 million rather than just 2 million. Would have, should have, kind of like a regret type of thing. I think the more responsible thing to do was to do what I did. The crazy YOLO thing would be to afford the biggest, baddest house that you could. So I don't know. I don't think you can really call this a mistake, because what I did was probably more financially responsible. The fourth mistake is not paying my student loans off a bit earlier. Started with a $40,000 student loan debt. After I graduated, all along the way, I felt like I needed more cash because I needed to save up a down payment for a house. But in doing so, I only paid the interest payments for the first 4 years, and then I paid the minimum payments thereafter. Every single year when I do my taxes, I can see that I pay thousands of dollars in interest payments only into the student loan. And when I added it all up, it was, I don't know, $10,000. And I just thought that, man, if I just paid more money into it, I would have saved that amount of interest. So in hindsight, I might have wanted to put, maybe like $200-300 per month into my student loans, just to get it paid down a little bit faster. Maybe instead of whatever number of years it took me, half the number of years would have been more reasonable. The fifth money mistake is probably another in hindsight type of thing, where I could have bought into Tesla and held it very, very long term. Had I done so, I would have made quite a bit more, maybe $300,000 to $500,000 more, given the amount I started with. But, me being itchy fingers and hands and stuff, I go and sell it when I feel like it's high. I fail to buy back in. By the way, just recently, I bought back in at 900 and then I sold at 930, bought 100 shares, made a quick $3,000, but I did not hold for today because it just jumped up another 7%. I would have made another $7,000. But, this is what it is. I mean, you can't be too angry when you are making some money, and instead of making 3,000, you should say, oh, I could have made 10,000 or whatever amount more. Right before this current transaction, I bought at 600 and sold at 1,050. So this is a $90,000 gain for, I think, the 200 shares that I held. So this is a respectable amount, but some people might argue you should just hold on to Tesla long term. But given the current valuation of 300 PE ratio, it's kind of ridiculous. Anything like this would make anybody a little bit nervous, especially with a lot of the EVs coming out. There's a lot of other EVs from other manufacturers, and it's starting to look like there's more competition coming out. These are the 5 money mistakes I have made. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you can learn something from this and not repeat the same thing I did, and maybe you would end up richer than me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.